Over the last year, the board, the other thing too is I see that Chris Norton gave us 15 minutes for the business meeting, so the speech won't be long. Over the last year, the board and the staff has been through many different changes and challenges. And I'll just summarize a couple because we're going to hear about a couple more in depth later on. First of all, we did update and are presenting to you the bylaws. They hadn't been updated in several years, so it's more or less to get us current. We redid the finances, the record keeping, the data on it, so that's much more efficient reporting and understandable reporting. We've investigated new fundraising. You're going to hear about a big gala event coming up in August that I hope you'll all be able to participate in, and that's going to be Rock the Arts. You see it in your art sphere a little more in detail, and over the internet it'll be coming out. We did a training, all the board members, for strategic planning, which is going to help give us a compass in directions to go. And it wasn't just the board, the staff was involved in that too. So we were able to use the strategic training, we'll use that in board meetings to give us an idea of what direction we're going with the different things that come about. Not necessarily the board, but I was kind of impressed. They also opened up the underground studios, mostly ceramics, I believe, but underneath on the campus building there is a secret hidden studio there. I encourage you to visit. I don't know if it's a wine cellar yet or not, but it's like potential. Definitely. In addition, we have given away numerous grants that were both government supported, and most importantly, there are some that are supported by your generosity through the memberships and through your contributions through fundraising. Not everything we do is granted money, and sometimes that gets difficult to get to. So really your ongoing support is very appreciated. For that, I thank you. But I would also like to, at this time, thank the hardworking staff who make sure that the things that need to get done. They get her done. And that's Chris Norton, Liz Simmons, Kayla Stein, and their army of volunteers. Too many for me to name. But they do a lot. The board does come up with ideas, but they're the ones who get her done. And that's very appreciative. Thank you. For the board meeting, there's 3 topics we're going to address. First one, Eddie Lee is going to talk to us and highlight the bylaws and just highlight what the changes are, that sort of thing. After that, we'll bring to the floor a vote of approval or disapproval. After that, we're going to have Chris Norton is going to introduce the recommended new members and just a little bio on them for the Board of Trustees. Several are here. I believe one had to work. Amanda had to work. I called her and she was working. And then last, Pete Capadonia, our treasurer, will make an annual report of the budget. And right after that, I'm going to solicit the boards to make a vote on that. We were supposed to meet on May 15th and we couldn't do it. So what we'll do is vote on the budget with a hands up or hands down, up or down vote right after he's done. Following the Board of Trustees, we'll have, that's when we'll have the short meeting, but we'll just do it right here just for a hands vote. Again, I want to thank you for all your support and all that you've done over the year. We're looking forward to new adventures this year and certainly keep you informed. I think we've done a huge job with the press. I keep seeing Livingston Arts in the press all the time now, so that's I like that very much. So I'm going to turn it over to Eddie Lee, and he's going to talk about the new bylaw revisions.
Thank you. I'll be brief since my chicken skewer is cooking and I need to get make sure that's mine.
Put a ribbon on it for him.
Don't tell him
I'm looking. When several of the new members joined the board back in the fall, one of the things we started to look at was the governance structure of the organization. And one of the things we noticed is that the bylaws needed some updating because it wasn't really current in terms of where we were going. So we drafted a set of bylaws, and in March, on March 20th, the Board of Trustees actually adopted the bylaws, or recommended the adoption of the bylaws. One of the actions under the old bylaws that you as members, general members of Livingston Arts gets to vote on is a revision to the bylaws. So actually, after I briefly describe this, Bill or somebody else can make a motion to the general membership to adopt these. One of the things that's going to change, however, is in the new bylaws, we won't have to burden the full membership with this. If we do revise the bylaws, the Board of Trustees will do so and vote on them themselves. But, so I just want to quickly go over some of the major features of the bylaws changes for those of you that have looked at them as well as those that haven't. One of the things we wanted to do was to brand this organization as Livingston Arts. There's been a lot of confusion about what we call ourselves. Some people call it the Arts Council, some people still call it the Genesee Valley Arts
Council,
whatever. So our goal is to create nomenclature that's singular, that we call ourselves Livingston Arts. That's a sign outside the building, that's a sign that we use in publications and so on. So the goal is to get us all to speak in singular terms, Livingston Arts, and to stop talking about GVAC or the Arts Council and so on. So it's going to take, it's a cultural thing, but it's going to take a while. So in these bylaws, we call ourselves Livingston Arts. And from a business perspective, we still call ourselves GVAC, but we're doing a DBA as GVAC. So everything we do should be Livingston Arts. So that's one of the things that we do in these bylaws. Another thing is we better define the membership categories. It was a little confusing in the previous bylaws. We have business sponsors, we have members at large who are you folks, and we have honorary members, so it clarifies all that. We also have created some flexibility in the numbers of Board of Trustees. We were formerly called Board of Directors. We really are trustees, so we're going to call ourselves Board of Trustees. And it used to be fixed at 15 members, but we created a range of 13 to 15. That gives us an opportunity to increase members, or if we have some vacancies, to keep those vacancies. So it just gives us more flexibility. We've also increased the term limits of the trustees from 6 years to 9 years. We found that having members leave after serving 6 years wasn't really allowing the members to learn the craft of being a trustee and to provide the institutional memory. So extending it to 9 years gives people a chance to do the job and to learn the job of being a trustee. We also have more clearly described the responsibilities of the officers and what they do, what the committees do. In the previous bylaws, we didn't even define the types of committees we have, but now they're fully defined. We have standing committees. We also have the ability to create ad hoc committees on special projects. So those are clearly defined in the new bylaws. We also define the relationship of staff, like Chris and Liz and Kayla, to the board. We have also streamlined the number of board meetings that we had. We used to have, in practice, a meeting every month, and it was getting a little bit onerous. So we reduced that a little bit, and we probably will have about 9 meetings a year. So that's to make sure that the work of the board is more effective. We've also officially added an ex officio board member from the Livingston County supervisors. I think we're going to reach out. Although Will Wadsworth is an ex officio member now in practice, we're not sure that we've really got that in gear. So we're going to reach out to the Board of Supervisors and talk about them officially appointing somebody to be a linchpin to us, so that we have a government to not-for-profit relationship. Because after all, we are considered the official arts organization of Livingston County, so we really want to formalize that relationship a lot more. So those are a summary of the features of the bylaws, and hopefully most of you have had an opportunity to read them online. So we haven't had any questions about them after our board meeting, but this is your opportunity to ask questions. But absent that, we can make a motion, maybe by a voice vote to adopt
Yeah,
these.
we'll do an up or down vote.
Okay.
Any discussion, questions? Okay, the reason Eddie's presenting is he put a lot of work in this for us, kept track of the papers, the diagrams, the changes, did an excellent job, so I want to thank Eddie for all that he did with the bylaws. Do I hear a motion to accept the bylaws?
I will move that the members of Livingston Arts accept the new bylaws.
Second? Second. Okay, got the second. Sue. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's carried. Okay, thank you very much.
So we don't want anybody to call this organization anything else except Livingston Arts.
It'll cost you
And now that I have newfound powers you didn't know about.
Could you clean up the tables, please?
Okay. We're going to have Chris Norton. He's going to present the new slate of board members for us. And then we'll have an up-down vote on that, too. Whatever that is, I've heard that. Bill, good coffee, by the way. Thank you. Thank you. So, Bill, you want to make coffee? I said, I don't know. But, yeah, from now on. What a beautiful day, huh? Yeah. Can you look out? It's just fantastic. And it's wonderful to see you all here. There's more I'm going to be saying later, and there's a lot of things I have to say. So I will just proceed directly to the business at this moment, which is we have expanded. You just expanded the board to a possible 17. So that gives us 3 more spots, and you've been informed that we have 3 individuals who have deigned to be members of the Board of Trustees. And I'll tell you a little bit about each of them. 2 of them are here today. Roland Beck, who is the chief head honcho, high mucky muck, Grand Poobah. He's the manager of Letchworth State. And I've had the very good fortune, mostly through our other new trustee, to run into Roland on several occasions over the past few years. And he's just the nicest. And Lisa was talking about how calm and even keel he is. So I'm very excited that he has decided to join us on the Board of Trustees. I'm assuming you guys are going to get voted in. I hope that's okay. And also here with us today is Lisa Burns. Probably most, if not all of you know Lisa. She is, you have a new title at the Chamber, actually, do you not? She's at the Chamber of Commerce. What's the new title, Lisa?
I don't know, it changes.
Yeah?
We changed the office actually to be the Tourism and Marketing Office within the Chamber. So I'm the Vice President, and no, there is no President. So go figure. Go figure.
I'm available to try. So, and also, you know, we try to get trustees from around the county. Roland lives, I guess, probably Mount Morris, right? I mean, he lives in the park, but it would be in Mount Morris, I guess. And Lisa is in Geneseo. So very excited. I've known Lisa for a number of years. We've worked on all kinds of projects together in my capacity with the Arts Center. And so I'm very excited to have her coming on board. She is a ball of fire. And the third person who could not be here because she's working is a young lady named Amanda Lynch. Amanda is a teacher in Perry. She's an ESL teacher in Perry. She is also the president of the board of Geneseo Community Players. And so she also has accepted our offer to come on the board. So, do I have a motion to, Bill, you want to do that?
Yeah, I got it.
He's our parliamentarian. As you heard the slate, do I hear a motion to accept the slate of candidates? Do I hear a second?
Second.
You want to fight over it?
Yep.
Okay, we'll do an up-down vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No? Okay. They are our new board members.
Congratulations. Glad to have you on board.
Next, we're going to have Pete Capadonia present the year's finances and the proposed budget. The board itself votes on the budget, just the board, so when he's done, we'll have a quick vote up and down by the board members themselves. Actually, some of you might wonder how I got to be president. I was sitting in a meeting and went to the bathroom one day. Came back.
Well, I promised Bill that I would be very quick about this. So, in the past, the budgets were done in some unusual ways. I'm very blessed that I have got a financial committee that has been extremely active. I don't think I can say enough to, Salome Ferraro, Chris, Bill, but even more importantly, again, Eddie Lee has taken the reins here and really helped to simplify and give Chris a little better understanding of a budgeting process. It's a difficult situation in an arts organization there's a real conundrum when you're talking about arts and finances. They oftentimes are at odds with each other. So it was a great thing that Eddie was able to help, and actually all of us on the committee were able to help give Chris a little better understanding of the approach to budgeting. We have made a few changes this year in terms of, for example, where the membership dues are coming in. We have looked at the activity of the organization over the last few years, and we look at where the revenue streams come in. Our largest chunk of money comes in March. Oftentimes, we are short on funds in the fall and early winter periods because we're waiting for a large chunk of money to come in. So we exercise a line of credit that we have. One of the things we're trying to do is to change when the funding is coming in from our members so that it's coming in at a time when we don't have the funds from the different grants that we get. That will hopefully eliminate our need to use the line of credit, which of course will reduce our expenses because we won't have to deal with the interest involved. We also are looking at trying to establish a reserve fund. One of the things, this organization, we don't have a lot of money. We've been able to make it run for a number of years, but we didn't want to feel that we were vulnerable to any shortages along the way. So one of the things we're trying to do is to also begin to establish a reserve fund so that we have that money if we need it, or if it turns out that the reserve is strong, we can use it for other activities that the organization wants to fund. So those are a couple of things that we as a financial committee we're trying to get through. We took a very conservative approach to the budgeting this year. If you were to compare, and Chris has, if anybody was interested, we did have copies of the proposed budget as well as previous expenses. One of the things we tried to do was to pare it down in a very conservative manner. We were very prudent in terms of our estimate on revenues, and we tried to be very much more accurate with our estimate on what our costs would be. As a result, it looks like we have a lot less revenue budgeted this year than previously, but we've trimmed out a couple of areas that weren't true revenues. They used to report the line of credit as a revenue stream. Well, it's not a line of revenue stream. We also had other funds that were particularly restricted that we tried to pull out. So what Eddie did in building the budget, and if any of you, I'd encourage you to take a look at it, he's tried to pair the different areas of revenue with the expenses that are directly related to it. It gives you a little better understanding of how the flow is occurring. So we have done that, and we've done it in a very fiscally conservative method. Now, if our revenues exceed what we have budgeted here, that allows us to once again try to build more of that reserve fund, as well as to expand the offerings and the programs that the organization does. So with a little bit of luck, things like the Rock and the Arts will produce a good revenue stream which will allow us to expand what we offer. I definitely want to thank all of the people that have been involved with that as well, because it really looks like it could be a very profitable endeavor for both the organizations involved. So we'll keep our fingers crossed on that. The total revenue that we're projecting for the organization, and this includes money for grants that we do from NISCA, for the community arts grants and arts and education and the folk arts. Our total revenue stream looks to be about $140,500. With a little bit of luck, we will exceed that. But that is the conservative method that we're taking on this. Of course, our expenses are projected to be the same. Again, we will hope that we can keep our expenses below our revenues so that we can build our reserve. There was one other issue that bear with me as I check my notes for a moment. We are continuing to search for additional funding through new forms of membership as the bylaws have described, as we've tried to outline. So we're going to hope that we're going to be able to increase our corporate memberships and our private memberships, as well as the members of the staff, Liz and Kayla and Chris, are looking for additional funding through grants. So we're going to hope that we can find some additional grant monies as well. With any luck, that will work out. We will experience, with the change in where we're having the membership dues come in, we'll experience a little blip in what we probably get for membership dues in the current year, as we try to align the membership timing with our expenses. So after this initial year, we shouldn't see, it should all be back to normal. But we would encourage anybody, even if you're getting a little bit of a credit on your membership dues, we'd encourage you to think kindly about the organization and to give your full membership back at an earlier point in time. I'm sure that's what I will be doing, and I hope that others will follow suit as well. With this realignment, we think that we will help strengthen the organization. So that being said, I will give it back to Bill to go ahead and seek approval on the budget.
Where's Mark? This is considered a special meeting. It's in the bylaws. This is a special meeting by the Board of Trustees at this moment. It's a single item, and that is a proposal to accept the budget for the coming year. We've heard any questions on the budget, what was proposed? I mean, it's a lot of money. No? Do I hear a motion from a board member to accept, to move to vote on this? A board member?
I'll move.
So moved, Chris. Okay, do I hear a second? Second. All right, let's hear from, we're gonna do a hands up this time just to mix it up. All those in favor, raise your hand. Opposed? That's more than enough to carry it. Thank you very much. Next on the agenda is gonna be the better part of it, and that's our awards for the people who have done wonderful things over the years. And I'm gonna leave that to Chris. One other thing though, before the evening's over, if you want to wander up, these are going to be drawn tonight, okay? These prizes here. So if you want to wander up and put some things in there, we've been running this for about 3/4 of a year, and this is the finality here if you want to put your money to good use. Wander on up.
Thanks, Bill.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to try to be what Jim Hightower says you're supposed to be when you speak. Be loud, be brief, and be gone. But since this is the portion of our show where we thank some very wonderful people, you don't want to be too brief. So I would just like to begin by thanking all of our membership. Livingston Arts has a little over 350 members, and as Bill stressed, we are a member-supported organization, and we very much appreciate that support. Next, I would like to thank all of our volunteers. We have a lot of wonderful volunteers, and they are kind of like an army, as Bill mentioned, that keep the ship of state moving around here. So without them, we wouldn't be able to do half of what we do. Next, I would like to thank our Board of Trustees. Most of you know I'm a director. I do a lot of directing, and a lot of times I've been lucky enough to do some shows that people have enjoyed, and they always come up to me and tell me how much they enjoy the show and how great everybody was, and I always tell them, and it's absolutely true, it's about casting. If you cast the show right, you get a good show. You don't do anything as a director after that, you know. And I feel in a sense that kind of concept applies to our Board of Trustees. I think we've cast it well. They are a remarkable bunch of individuals from all around the county, all walks of life. I appreciate their skill, their intelligence, their passion, the fact that they keep me on the straight and narrow, which they've had to do more than once. And so I very much appreciate, everybody from the board is here today, and I just want to tell all of you how much I appreciate what you do and the great amount of time that you put in. And last, I would like to thank our staff. Karen Canning, our folklorist, who is just a wonder to work with. I just say, Karen, what do you what's going on? She takes care of it all, and I don't have to do anything. She's remarkable. Next, of course, is Kayla Stein, our grants coordinator, who is so much more than just our grants coordinator at Livingston Arts. Arts Underground, which Bill mentioned earlier, that's Kayla's baby. She just made it happen. You know, I blinked and there it was. So she brings so many things to the organization, and so I just want to thank Kayla for everything she has done over the past year. And then last but certainly not least is Liz Simmons, our associate director. If it wasn't for Liz, I wouldn't be able to keep my head on straight at all. She wears so many hats in the organization, fills in so many cracks so that things don't fall through them. She is the most pleasant person in the world to work with, and I can't begin to thank Liz enough either, so thank you, Liz. So I would like to tell you a little bit about the Arts Leadership Awards. There are 3 categories that exist of our leadership awards: Artistic Achievement, Arts and Education, and Volunteer of the Year. This award was established in 1998, so this is the 15th year, to honor the extraordinarily talented, hardworking, and generous people that make Livingston County so rich in arts and culture. Neither the nominee nor the person nominating is required to be a member of Livingston Arts. Current board members and staff are ineligible for an award. This year's recipients will receive 2 things. First is a free gold membership to Livingston Arts, entitling them to many things: our monthly e-newsletter, an invite to the Artful Holidays members pre-sale, to the members exhibit, a discount in the Good Deals gift shop, first opportunity to enroll in classes, a 5% discount on classes and workshops, and 2 complimentary tickets to next year's annual dinner. The second thing they will receive is a gift certificate for a free session of classes, entitling them to free attendance to all the meetings of one class sometime in the year. So without further ado, let me tell you about our recipients. Last year we had 1 recipient in Arts and Education. And we talked about that, and we said, well, should we try to fill all 3? And I thought, no. You know, if somebody's obviously someone that should get an award, then let's give it to them. It makes it all that more special when it's, you know, obvious that somebody deserves it. And you're not giving it out every year, because not every year there's somebody that's so obvious. Well, this year we had 2 very obvious people, and 3 very obvious people. Actually, we are awarding our first one to 2 people, a couple who you all know, a very dynamic duo. This is our Artistic Achievement Leadership Award. This is for creative artists recognized for outstanding achievement in the field. And this is for artists who have enriched the artistic climate of our local community. I went to one of their shows last night, and as I thought about what to mention of them, I realized that it's on the back of all their programs. All you got to do is read that to understand the incredible amount of hard work they do. I think it's James Brown, they always said, is the hardest working man in show business. Well, I call Rick and Kathy Berry the hardest working people in show business in our county, certainly. Theater 101, listen to this. Theater 101 opened in December 2010 and has hosted over 150 events since that time. Now that's what, 2.5 years ago, and they've hosted 150 events, including all these things: live theater, music, quilt shows, craft shows, children's plays, classes, live radio shows, benefit concerts, community and professional presentations. Many events that they hold are free. They have an open mic the first Thursday of every month. So I don't need to tell you, because I'm sure you all know the amount of work these people put in. They have an extremely loyal following of actors, which tells you something about what kind of people there are to work with. And it's amazing to me the amount of work and effort they put into things. So they are not able to be here today because they're actually acting in a show, probably at this exact second, down at Theater 101. So, but we do have Beth Eli Sabota here to accept for them. So, can we give a round of applause in absentia for them? So here's a certificate for them. Okay.
Great.
So, and I know that they sent you along with some words to
They
share.
sent me along with some words, And one thing I would like to say is that they also clean the bathrooms.
I'm not surprised.
That's a very important part. So they sent me, this is Kathy wrote this. Of course, we'd like to thank the Academy, as any actor or actress would like to say. And we are so grateful to Greg O'Connell for the opportunity of creating Theater 101. Our New York City friends are in awe. Though we have at times been frustrated and exhausted, we are always refreshed and boosted by those who express their appreciation for the chance to perform, share, and enjoy the arts right here in Mount Morris. We boast that we have the best audience by a damn sight. And we mean it. We have a very dedicated group of supportive folks, and we are so grateful. They keep us going. Being people of faith, we are also always very grateful to God for what we've been given. And we don't take the gifts lightly. We ask nearly every day, what wilt thou have us do? And on those marvelous days when we see the ARC group explode with joy, or a young or old novice actor shine, or a musician hit the heights, we know the answer, at least for that day. We are so honored the Arts Council recognizes and applauds our efforts. The best way to support these efforts is by coming to Theater 101. I'm going to say that again. The best way to support these efforts is by coming to Theater 101 and then telling others about it. Our most sincere thanks, Kathy and Rick, Side by Side Productions. P.S. You have no idea how much we wanted to be there. Good food and fun, good Lord. So that's from Rick and Kathy.
Our next award is for volunteerism. The Volunteerism Award is for an individual who gives generously of his or her time, experience, and expertise to promote and encourage the arts and culture in our local communities. This was another obvious choice this year. Since they came back to the area, Kim and Eddie Lee both have given a remarkable amount to Livingston Arts. You've heard a lot of the contributions that Eddie has made to the board. We met Kim first. Kim is a remarkable artist, and she has been a volunteer and a docent with the organization for a couple of years now. Recently, she took over the scheduling of all of the docents in the gallery, and has done a fantastic job with that. And that's been an incredible help to all of us, but certainly, obviously, to Liz, who was doing all that. So if any of you want to take over about 50 other things from Liz, she can actually be doing the amount of work that would match the number of hours that we pay her for. But we really appreciate Kim's smiling face, her wonderful, easygoing attitude, and all of the things that she has done for us, whether it's licking envelopes or sharing her art with us in our gift shop, in our members exhibit, sitting as a docent in the gallery for many hours, and working to schedule all the different schedules of all the wonderful docents that we have. So we would like to present our volunteerism award to Kim Benagi-Lee.
I just want to thank the board and thank the staff of the Arts Center. Mostly I'd like to thank the docents. Colleen is one of them. Wonderful people who don't mind me harassing them every month. Phone call after phone call, or email to say, can you sit this day? Can you sit this day too? Can you sit this day instead of the next day? And so it's been a pleasure to help out. And I'm so happy that Liz actually put a little ad in the paper 2.5 years ago, asking for people to come up to the Arts Center and see if they would like to docent, find out more about Livingston Arts. And so I've been happy to be here, and hopefully I'll put in many more years to come. So thank you so much.